Iburu, Iboya, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babala. At least I hope so. Omo Dileke coming at you with another aspect and a sequel to the Help Me, Help You. And again, just to kind of reiterate, what we're trying to do here is I am trying to gather your Oduns, okay, or your Olodu, and I'm trying to mesh it along with your guardian in order to give you an aspect, an outlook on how you should be walking spiritually. All right, because that is very important. And now obviously that's from a perspective of Ifa, and that's the reason why I want your information from your Mano de Orula. So I had tons of people email me, tons of people left comments. Obviously email is going to be the best way. My wife, my PTV, my rock, she's been organizing it, and she pointed out to me, we had 3 people, believe it or not, 3 people come out with the same sign, with the same guardian. I said, okay. So that's going to make it easy, because one video, I can tell you everything about that sign, and I can also tell you about the guardian. I can tell you how it meshes. But here's another factor that always needs to be considered, is the gender, male, female, because those things are going to be able to reveal some additional challenges or some additional ires, some additional blessings are going to come by different avenues. So, again, just to reiterate, this is the sequel to the Help Me Help You, and today we're going to talk about Ogbe Osa. And we're not just going to talk about Ogbe Osa, we're going to talk about Ogbe Osa with Omo Yemaya. Okay? Beautiful sign. All right? Yemaya. If you haven't seen my video on Yemaya, please go back, look through the videos, look at who is Yemaya, because I explained her in a very short time, but a very in-depth video, so you can understand who Yemaya is. So when I start wrapping in who Yemaya is with Ogbe Osa, you kind of have a better understanding. Does that make sense? Beautiful. All right. So Ogbe Osa, I want to start with a pataki, because nothing is gonna explain things better than a pataki. Because in Ogbe Osa, you always hear people say the same thing. It doesn't matter. You go anywhere you go, they're always gonna say the same thing. Hey, when you do something, you gotta do it complete. You can't do anything half, right? You're gonna do it the right way, and you're gonna do it complete each time. But why? So it was a famous pataki that talks about a hunter that was hunting for days and could not get any. He had no gain. So he's shooting arrows. He's doing his thing. He can't find it. The animals to hunt. He's got a big family to feed, so he goes to the feet of Orula. Orula, help me out. Orula consults the hunter and tells the hunter, okay, this is what you got to do. All right, through Ifa, the sign Ogbe Osa comes out. So Orula gives him his prescription. Because like I tell everybody, consultations are like a doctor and a client, right? A doctor and a patient. We're going to talk this out. Boom, boom. We're going to talk to Ifa. Ifa's going to tell us what to do. And whoop, here's your prescription. Go fill it out, right, at the pharmacy. That's kind of the same deal if you really think about it. So the hunter got his prescription, right? But the hunter didn't do what he was supposed to do all the way. The hunter waited to the next day and only did half of the ebo. Okay? It's like going to the pharmacy and the doctor says, hey, you need to take 1 pill every day for the next 7 days. And you take half a pill for the next 7 days. You're not getting enough of that pill to probably do the job it's designed to do, right? Kind of the same concept, right? Think about it. So the hunter does his ebo. Right after the hunter leaves that day, right? And now the hunter's out the way. Believe it or not, the deer showed up that very same day. And the deer goes to Orula and says, man, I'm getting worn out. I'm getting chased by hunters. And this one particular hunter keeps chasing me down. And I don't know what to do. I'm getting tired. I got to protect my family. I got to protect me. Orula consults Ifa again. Throws down. Ogbe Osa comes out again. So he says, the deer, here you go. Here's the prescription. Here's what you got to do. Here's when you got to do it. And guess what? The deer goes. The deer only does half the ebo. All right, you see the trend here, right? So the hunter does half an ebo. The deer does half an ebo, right? The hunter goes out after he does half his ebo and he says, okay, I'm good. I did half of the ebo. That should be good enough, right? Goes out hunting. He actually catches and sees prey. He shoots back his arrow. He shoots it. He misses the big deer. He gets the little deer. Remember, he's got a big family to feed. So he gets the deer. He gets a little small one. He's not content with that. He's not happy with that. He did his ebo. He wants to know. Things should be flourishing in. So he goes back to Orula and said, Orula, I caught a little deer, but I gotta feed my family, and this is not gonna do. I did my ebo, and Orula told him, well, you did an ebo. You did half an ebo. You should be content with half of the results. So the hunter moves on. The deer comes to Orula upset. Orula, I did the ebo. My son is dead. The hunters took him. Orula said, well, you did half the ebo. You should be grateful that you're not dead and you didn't get caught. So what's the moral of the story there? You got to do things completely, especially when it's in the prescription of Ifa. When Ifa says do an ebo, do an ebo. Do it 100%. Ask the Bawalao 5 times. Okay, so you're telling me I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this. Yes. And so you mean to tell me I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Ogbe Osa's got to reiterate over and over again and make sure that their ebos are 100%. But not only their ebos, but their character. Their character means everything. Walk a life in that same mentality. Make sure that you guide yourself with that same type of character and personality, all right? Because that's very, very, very important. So, what are the other things that I want to talk about? Ogbe Osa, if you don't know, you have a lot to do with the creation of the moon. That's why it's very interesting when I see Ogbe Osa with Yemaya. Because if you look at the other video I did about Yemaya, we talk about Yemaya representation of the moon. We talk about Yemaya having the forces of the moon. And what do the forces of the moon do? They attract different things, right? When we talk about what goes bump in the night, we talk about Yemaya, we talk about the moon, we talk about nighttime. And there's nothing to be scared about. But in Ogbe Osa, it's very interesting when we talk about the moon and we talk about the throne of Iku. We talk about the throne of death. And again, this is nothing to be scared about. All right, this is part of our faith, part of our philosophy. But there are certain pacts there that have to be done with Iku. There's a throne of Iku that needs to be consecrated, and things need to happen, and Bawalaos need to help you through those processes. But you seek your guidance from your Godfather, and you follow what your Godfather tells you, because 100% these videos are not meant to be in contrary to your godparents. The other big thing that I think about when I think about Ogbe Osa, I think about the beginning ceremonies of the day, and that's where I was kind of getting to. So every morning, Ogbe Osa should be taking a higara full of water and putting it in the front of their door to refresh their door. And they should be looking to the sky and looking to Olodumare and giving thanks to Olodumare. Okay, they should be looking around, giving thanks to Ishu for making sure that he doesn't bring any barriers. And then also give thanks to the earth. Look to the ground, give thanks. Because Ogbe Osas have a lot of transparencies between all elements, how everything flows. So that's a very important habit to get into if Ogbe Osas are not already doing it. The other big thing is, obviously you probably already heard this, because of who Ogbe Osa is, and because it's the head, and because we do rogaciones a lot of times with coconuts and so forth, Ogbe Osa should refrain from eating coconuts, because the coconut and the power of that coconut is potent. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor to give you too much antibiotics and your body gets used to antibiotics and doesn't know how to fight bacteria or germs anymore. or diseases. Same concept. Don't eat coconut, because when its time comes and you need to use that coconut, we need it to be ready. We need it to be potent. We need your body to be like, wow, this is the next best thing. So don't eat coconut. Okay. The other big thing, obviously, we talk about the head when we talk about Ogbe Osa. We talk about the fact that you shouldn't be holding animals. All right. We shouldn't be holding animals when it comes to sacrifice, it comes to killing and stuff like that, because a lot of times that is how we either remove the head, don't remove the head. But anyway you look at it, there's a flow of energy that's moving from you into that animal, and you're holding it, and it can cause a shift in your head. It can cause kind of like a disruption, and we don't want to do that. And that's the reason we say don't pick up animals, don't hold animals during ceremonies and so forth. Okay. Or besides, remember that. Okay. Whether you're crowned, not crowned, doesn't matter. This is Ifa, and this is Ifa's taboos. Your Ita and Ocha is something different. Something else that I want to make sure is you notice that we talk about a lot about the head, so the physical taboos of your health, your head, your mind, your neck. All right, those things are very important. So you got to remember, when you start suffering from migraines, or you get a lot of headaches, or anxiety, those type of things. Okay, mental health illnesses. You got to seek help. You got to seek help, and you got to figure out a way to balance yourself and get yourself right. Okay, because you're susceptible to a lot more of those things because your head is sensitive, your ori is sensitive. All right. The other big thing when we talk about how you walk in that righteous path, all right, and Olbe Sas typically are very successful. Olbe Sas have the ability to be great businessmen, great politicians, and that money comes in. And there's certain divinities, when we talk about Chango, we talk about Oya, you talk about the factors, especially for your guardian Yemaya. We talk about the factors of how do you maintain your money, how do you keep your money, right? And you have to clean your money, and you got to do certain things to maintain that flow of ire, all right? Because that flow owo is important, because we live in a physical world that requires money and so forth. So therefore, for the old besas out there, you got to make sure that you're doing things. And this is where the gender becomes important, because there's a ceremony for a female and a ceremony for a male, in order to keep some of this ire, not just money. Because when you speak about, hey, go play the lottery could be anything. If you value winning the lottery and it's love, then love is your love. That's your lottery. If it's money, then it's money. If it's family, it's family. If it's spirituality and knowledge, and you're gaining all that, then you're winning the lottery of life, right? So your lotteries are all different, but you have to make sure that you're appeasing certain divinities in the process, right? Then when we talk about Yemaya, okay, so Yemaya, being who she is, we talked about the moon, and we talk about in this sign, this is the creation of the moon. We also talk about Yemaya having a big pack with the Eguns. So the throne of Iku Olbesa, Yemaya complements that very beautifully, complements the moon very beautifully. When we talk about who she is and what she needs to do and take care of her children within the layers of the ocean. When we talk about going deep into the ocean to Olokun's lair, right? We talk about the riches. We talk about the secrets, right? Olbesas are going to benefit for being with Yemaya in order to get to Olokun. So Yemayas, what do you think you should be receiving? Olokun, so that you could begin to spiritually align yourself. But I could talk all day about Olbesa, Yemaya. All right, but with that said, I want to make sure I give you just a little bit of frosting on the cake. All right. With that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, everybody in Cyberland. Beautiful sign Olbesa for the three. If I remember correctly, you got Mark. We have Juan, and then we had Camille. Those are my Olbesas. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right. And this video is for you guys, and this video is for all the old Besas out there, especially with the Omo Yemaya. So, Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, give me a like, give me a share. La Regla de Ifa @gmail.com if you prefer to email me, which is probably the preferred method. That's la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com. la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com, or leave a comment below, and myself or my wife, we will see it and we will respond back. And if you need something, we'll make sure to get you some answers back. If you need a scheduled consult, whatever it is, we're gonna hook you up. Because again, at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all about making sure that you're spiritually fulfilled, making sure that we are taking care of you, and making sure that we give something back to our community, especially for those who are not traditionally Spanish-speaking folks, but understand it and maybe need a little bit more comfort and understanding, and a little bit more comfort in speaking and writing. And this is just another way to give back. So with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Bucheche, Cyberland. Ache.